Not to fear, we have a solution. A show where you can learn the art of dispute. Filmed under the glorious technicolor of rainbows and rifles, with a cast of teddy bears armed with switchblades. Where both the opinions and the adult beverages are strong. Tune in, turn on, and comment your giddy hearts out. We're going live in
3, 2, 1, action!
Alright, welcome to the Art of Dispute. I almost said the Wine for Wine Show. That's like a flashback. Welcome to the Art of Dispute, where you can be friended and offended all in the same doggone hour. You know what I'm talking about. Where at any moment, if you post something on social media, people just blow up, freak out on you, and you don't even know what happened. I refer to it as the zero to Nazi effect. It's where anytime somebody disagrees with you, it's a length of time to go from 0 to you're a Nazi. Or insert your favorite insult here. I'll now punch you in the face and go outside and set fire to your car. That's just how we roll in America. Well, on today's show, we've got a crazy hot topic. It's a hot topic, I'm just saying. People are gonna be, I've been drinking heavily since we started talking about this. I'm a little afraid, is all I'm gonna say. We're gonna share our opinions on a very hot topic today. I'm looking forward to it. But before we dive into this hot topic, I have to give our guests the opportunity to give a little shameless plug, because that is part of their exorbitant pay package that they get for being on the show. I mean, that and like free water, they're set for life practically. So, you know what I'm saying. All right, so before we jump in here, I want to give our guests the opportunity to introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about themselves, and we're going to come back around and let them share their thoughts on our topic today, which, I'll tell you, it's kind of a hard thing to sum up in a short version. I mean, like, the shortest version is, should men be allowed to be pro-choice? Like, what the heck does that mean? Right? Should men get to be pro-choice too? What does that look like? This is what I mean. Presently, women get two choices. One, they get to say, I choose to abort. Men get no decision in the process. Two, women get to say, I want to have the baby, and I want you to be financially obligated. You have to commit child support, etc., to take care of this. Again, men, no choice in that process. So, should women and men get the same choice? Men get to say, well, you decided to keep the baby, but I abort. I'm out. See you later. Or should men also get to say, you want to abort, but I want to keep. So I will pay for, support, everything through the process, and now I get the child and I get to raise the child. That's a massively heavy-duty topic. We're going to dive into that, but I'm going to give my guests the opportunity to, dwell on that thought a little bit, because nobody knew the topic before they got here today. So, we're going to give them some time to think about it, and we're going to go to Chris over here so he can tell us a little bit about who he is and where we can find him. Chris!
Hi, my name is Christopher Scott. I'm an 18-year-old singer and songwriter.
Songer,
yeah.
Songer. Yes. And he hadn't even been drinking.
Yeah, just water. I'm based out of Houston. I'll be performing a song for y'all later that I wrote. You can follow me on Facebook at Christopher Scott Musician, and y'all be on the lookout for a single that's going to be out probably within the next few weeks.
Right on. Alicia.
I'm Alicia Sermon, a real estate agent. I help people with housing, and I also do energy healing, a spiritual healer, and counseling here in Houston, Texas.
Where can they find you?
They can find me online.
Yes! Alicia Sermon, online.
Online, that's right. sermonrealestate.com.
Dave.
My name's Elizabeth Balderas. I am a sugar and cake decorator. I have been doing that for about 11 to 12 years. I am the owner of Faux Cakes, which is a fake cake rentals for any occasion, or if it's for photography, for catering, weddings, anything like that. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me at Faux Cakes at FAUX, which means practically fake cakes.
All right. Fake cakes. People use fake cakes.
Yes, they do.
It's a fascinating thing to me. Right? Just not a real cake. I would be the guy at the party, like, cutting into the faux cake.
Yes, you would, probably. And probably
going,
eating
"God,
styrofoam.
jog it. What is this styrofoam? That's not cool. Who brought this styrofoam cake up in here? So, that's what he needs. I saw it, like, some of your decoration stuff. We're going to bring it out later on. It's pretty cool.
Thank you.
I have to know more about this subject.
Sounds good.
Can't wait to try it.
Yes! I can't wait to try it.
We'll see you in the hospital.
Yes, right. All right. So we got a hot topic here, guys. All right, it's pretty heavy duty. I have to tell you guys, resist the urge to debate pro-choice, pro-life. That's not the subject of the show. All right, we're talking about a very specific kind of angle on this. In that, in this question, pro-choice is a reality. It exists, right? All we're discussing is, should pro-choice extend across gender lines? In other words, woman gets to choose, yes, I want to keep the baby, and I want to be able to, have the dad support and, child support, that sort of thing. Or I want to be able to abort the baby, and both of those decisions are fully mine, and nobody else gets to say anything. Now we're examining the idea that biological dad would get to step in and say, you may want to abort, but I want to keep the baby. And therefore, I have to step up financially, pay for all the process of the pregnancy and all the things related to that, but now I get the baby and mom is out of the picture. Or option B, mom says, I want to keep the baby, and dad says, I do not want to keep the baby, and therefore I have no financial obligations whatsoever. It's a pretty doggone heavy-duty topic, right? So, I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Give me kind of your, bullet point thought on this. What's your stance on this? Chime in, let us know, and we'll take it from there. Chris?
I say that the man has every right to choose whether he wants to support keeping the child or not, just because it takes two to tango. So.
It does take two to tango. Looks very weird with one person tango.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen anybody tango by themselves, but it's definitely awkward.
I believe a man should also have a choice whether to chime in and choose to abort or not abort, or to keep the child but be responsible, or make some kind of arrangement between the two to save the child
Okay.
and equally be responsible.
Okay.
I say yes and no, but under certain circumstances. So I would say yes, the man certainly does and should have that choice, but let's say the man is incarcerated. He's been known to, have felons, he doesn't have the right path, and he has no desire to be on the right path, then I don't think he should have that choice. Because not only is he going to be a danger maybe to the mother, but maybe the child as well. And we see that all the time.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's for real. That's like a kind of a felon, like almost like a voter clause kind of thing.
Yes.
Like when you're a felon, you don't get to vote, you don't get to carry, those kind of things. So maybe a felon wouldn't get to be dad kind of a thing.
Yes.
So, all right. Wow. We got lots of thoughts to explore on that segment for sure. We've got a wide array of views, and when we come back from break, we're gonna have a whole conversation about y'all's points on this. I think each of you have kind of a dynamic or that I want to explore. I've got some questions for you guys. All right. See, we talk before the show, and then they're all like, you know, like aggressive and like, you know, oh, I'm gonna tell you what I think, mister. And then we get on the show and they're like, oh, it's just, you know, love and peace and unicorns. I'm a big fan of rainbows. Did I say? Big fan of rainbows?
Don't forget the glitter.
And now they're like, you know, all polite and civil and whatnot. But when we come back from break, I'm gonna try to delve into some of their earlier issues that were off camera, and we'll see what we think. But we'll be right back after a word from one of our sponsors.
Phil and Derek's Restaurant and Jazz Bar, located in the midst of bustling Midtown in Houston. You'll find a laid-back atmosphere and ambiance reminiscent of the comfort of your own living room, coupled with the flair of pizzazz and glitz from live New York-style cabaret entertainment 7 nights a week. Phil and Derek's is not only the ideal restaurant with a great, long-standing wine selection, but also with a full bar as well. Phil and Derek's stock and knowledge of wines from Napa Valley wines, French Bordeaux, Spanish and Argentinian wines, just to name a few, are the envy of wine connoisseurs far and wide. Phil and Derek's Sunday Brunch was voted best morning after brunch for 3 consecutive years. Come indulge in the ample buffet of crepes, omelets, various salads, meats, complimentary mimosas, and much, much more. Enjoy delicious foods from the kitchen until midnight. We're equipped with large dining areas, ideal for every party need, whether business or pleasure. Come see and enjoy all that Phil and Derek's has to offer.
Welcome back to the Art of Dispute. Hey, you know, drinking happens during the break. I'm just saying. Right? We have a good time on this show. Right? We have a great time on this show. So anyway, I mean, you know, especially when we have a topic that is as hot as this subject is. Holy crap! This topic. We have a group page that you guys need to follow. The Art of Dispute on Facebook. There's over 6,000 people in this group, and we average between 16 and 20,000 comments a month. We posted this topic and nobody wants to touch it. It's like, oh, yeah. I don't know if I want to chime in. But we don't shy away from anything on this show. We talk about everything. It's the way it should be. If we can teach society to engage the most serious topics, just not being jerks to each other, man, what a better world we would live in. We actually learn to share thoughts with each other, appreciate each other's thoughts. That's a lot better place if you ask me. So, we're talking about a subject today that's pretty heavy duty. We're talking about abortion, but we're talking about a specific aspect where presently we live in a society where we have a pro-choice society, where the woman gets to decide to keep the baby or not keep the baby. But we're asking a question beyond that point. Should a man get to be pro-choice too? In other words, if the woman decided, hey, I want to keep the baby, and the man says, well, that's great, you decide to keep the baby, but I'm pro-choice and I choose to abort my responsibilities and I'm not involved. You go do whatever the heck you want, you support the kid financially, I'm out. Or, and I think this is probably the more controversial part of the question, you say, as the woman, you are pro-choice, you choose to abort, however, as the dad, I choose to keep the baby, and I will support all of the financial aspects of the pregnancy, and post, I will take care of the kid, I'll take the kid on and raise him as my own, and that's my part of the choice, should a male dad get to make that decision equally with the woman? Presently, the woman gets those options. Should a man be also able to get those options? That's the question on the table. It takes kind of a lot of discussion or a lot of explaining to pose that thought out. And by the way, thanks Mars Simmons, great photographer, great photographer, who was on the show last week, and she posed this conversation on her own page, kind of blew up, and she tagged me in it, and I thought it was a great conversation, so I put it on the list, and you guys chose it today, and here we are. So, not pro-life, pro-choice, that's not the conversation on hand. You guys each had your own thoughts on this. Where are you at now, based on each other's position? Where are you at? I know each of you had kind of a nuance, kind of a thought on this, on what your thoughts are, but based on what I just kind of explained to the audience, thoughts. Share your thoughts, take it away, whoever wants to dive in, anybody that feels like they want to take the lead.
I'll take the lead. I think guys should definitely have that option, but I think they need to heavy regulate a yes and no factor. So it can go both ways, and everybody's seen it. Not everybody should have a child. You know, they misuse it. They don't take care of them. They use them for cash money. So let's say that they want the child, but they want the father there just to have them for money. You know, so the money goes to them, and then they go out to party, the kid's left at home. We see that all the time. You know, or if not, you know, the father is abusive. You know, that can be a very dangerous situation for the mother and for the child. And we've seen it where men go and kill the mom and the child because, you know, they didn't want it. She had it, and that's what it, you know, that's what happened. Unfortunately, that's what, you know, what happens every day. You know, but as a woman, I would say it'd be more on her, but then again, you know, it takes, like you said, it takes two to tango. So why not both? Both should have that option.
All right, cool. All right. How, Alicia, you're puzzling over this thought. I can see it. I can see it. I read the body language here.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I do agree with that, although a lot of times even, okay, I'm okay with men having the same rights and the same responsibility, but also at the same time, during that stressful moment in time, whether they want the child to be aborted and the mother does not want to abort and want to keep the baby. However, if the mother, if the woman is responsible and is a good, caring, good, mother-to-be, but if she's not financially that well off to fully be able to take care of the child. Here's why I'm saying this. The father may elect to not want the child right now or not to have any responsibility financially or anything. But 5, 10, 15 years down the line, he grew up and then feel the emotional and mental responsibility and wants to get to know his child, and all that time the child is being raised by the mother on her own. What gives him the right to come in and try to take that child and pretend like nothing had happened all those years? So in essence, what I'm trying to say is that I believe if the mother chooses to keep the child, that they can negotiate in a certain percentage. It doesn't even have to be a 50-50. The system is already in its place. However, I believe that if the mother wants to keep the child, she can for a little while, just so to give the father that flexibility to whether or not he wants to really be a part of that child's life. Because people are different emotionally, the maturity, emotionally and mentally, depending on their background. And then sometime once a life is born and it has all that personality and everything, people change. So you shouldn't shut the door right then and there either on it. I mean, if it makes any sense.
Yeah. Well,
You know?
okay. Yeah.
It's like, I strongly believe that they can be all messed up and screwed up right now mentally and emotionally. But who is to say that one day they wake up and change, and then they want to be that good father? They want to have that opportunity.
Yeah, I massively agree with that. Related to the subject, it's where I'm wanting to tie it in. You know, I'm like, the difficulty with abortion for me, and I'm really unashamed about this kind of a subject. I'm super pro-life, super pro-life. I think that life is amazing, and I think it's one of the darkest spots on humanity to destroy it arbitrarily. And you know, the number one reason given when it comes to abortion is financial, right? And I'm like,
Not always.
it's the number one decision. It's not the only decision.
It's one of the main thoughts that
it's
come
the
up.
main thoughts, you know. And I'm like, you know, I have 2 kiddos of my own. I can't afford them now, let alone when I had them, right? They break the bank every week, you know. But you figure it out. You get the money, take care of business, you know. And so it's like, I feel like from just the pure pro-life, pro-choice discussion, I think a decision is made, and I promise I'm tying back to what you're saying.
Okay.
I think a decision is made that can't possibly know all the data or see the future, right? Right now I can't support this kid, and it would ruin my life if I had this kid, so I'm going to get rid of this kid, right? And for me, I'm like, that kid's going to make your life, and it's going to make everything that's wonderful and valuable in your life is going to be through that kid. And it's such not the decision is so not based on economics, right? But I get it. I understand that people are fearful about money and that sort of thing, and you make a decision based in that moment.
But sometimes
Right.
you have to make that on a mental
Yeah.
stature too. You
Sure.
know, because you have all these women who do, you know, postpartum depression.
Sure.
And people think it's not real, and you don't see it until you see it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I think men have it too, though they don't, I guess, advertise.
Oh, yeah,
or say
no,
it.
no,
I believe
absolutely,
they have
yeah,
it too. You have your
absolutely.
kids, so you know, you can be stressed out just as much as that. you know,
Oh,
while they're having it,
absolutely. Yeah,
you
I
know?
promise you. Yeah.
But some people just aren't mental for that. You know, they're not ready for that, and so you see all these, you know, like Andrew Yates, she drowned her kids. You know, so if they're not mental, you know, and they're like,
It's
I
going
don't
back a
want
minute,
this.
but
you
yeah.
know, if you don't want this, you know, why would you want to bring that into this world and then end it like that? You know, if you're not ready, if you know mentally you're not ready,
Yeah.
I say, you know what, if you feel that that is going to be the worst decision, you know, that's on your body, but at the end of the day, that's going to be your choice you live with.
It's another show. It really is. It really is. But it's a pretty heavy topic, and I think we need to explore it on the show in the future.
That's
is the
on my
idea of how casually we enter into sexual relationships, right? The result, like, nobody is shocked. Nobody, I promise, I don't care how uneducated, nobody is caught off guard by the idea that you can have a baby from sex,
Yes.
right? Yet, so much of that is the, like, it was not planned, etc. I'm like, yeah, you were bumping the nasty, I'm just saying, all right? All right. And it's not a surprise that you can have a kid from that situation, and how can you casually decide to end that because you didn't think about it prior? I mean, it's such a hard situation for me. But I got to bring it back to the question at hand.
But Joe,
Go ahead.
you feel that way because you know you're a good father, you know you're a good person, you know that you will do whatever it takes to get that kid raised right and be clothed and fed and put a roof on, over his head.
No, I'm following.
Right? But not every man are like that.
Right. I don't disagree.
So,
I'd clap that. Not
So-
every man is like that.
yeah. So,
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
So the point is, if the woman, okay, I am pro-choice, but I would never abort. On myself, I would never abort. But I am pro-choice because if the woman is mentally, emotionally not all there, you can't bring a life. A government cannot tell that person to bring that life in and raise it right, especially if the father itself is not mentally and emotionally right already.
So let me ask you.
Whether and financially able
But I
to.
think we do need to close off this segment, and we'll be back with more group discussion in any moment now. So stay tuned for a moment from our sponsors.
Do you suffer from chronic back pain? There is a solution to the suffering. The Body Mechanics, an orthopedic and medical massage focused practice that specializes in helping clients work through and overcome musculoskeletal injuries and chronic pain. By applying our science-based concepts through the art of massage therapy techniques, we can help you eliminate that pain. At the Body Mechanics, we take it as our responsibility to provide our clients with the highest level of care. We take time to get to know you, your history, and your obstacles, and most importantly, your wellness goals. We help you meet your goals through skillfully applied advanced massage therapy techniques and recommending self-care routines to improve overall well-being. Come in today and let the Body Mechanics apply our years of training and expertise to soothe away your aches. Mention this ad and receive our functional movement assessment for free, a $35 savings.
Welcome back to the Art of Dispute. Holy cow. Oh, if you only saw the circus that was the break. Oh my gosh. I mean, we have alcohol drinking and we're talking about abortion. What could go wrong? I mean, it's like an intense conversation happening in between every break. It's so great. But that's the point of the show. I mean, it's like we're trying to teach America how to have these conversations without flipping out on each other. We can talk about the most important, serious topics and be friendly towards each other. To enjoy a good glass of beer, thank you, Grain Cellar in Preston. Shameless plug out in Humble. Thank you for your sponsorship, by the way, for all the adult beverages. But we can have these serious conversations over a glass of wine, a glass of beer, and really just enjoying each other's company. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if we disagree. Holy cow. Man, we can dive into this serious stuff, have great conversation, and disagree passionately. Who the heck cares, right? Because when we share these kind of ideas back and forth, it makes us better. It makes us better. Forget your ego, man. Check it at the door. Let's just have some fun and enjoy each other's conversation and the points that you have to share. Try to understand each other. Man, it's awesome. So anyway, I'm pontificating, as I often do. As I often do. But we've got some serious questions lined up for our guests. And I want to jump over to the host, the co-host with the most, the Wizard of Odd.
Happy to be here. I've been here the whole time, if you didn't hear my voice over there.
Yes!
We have some great comments coming in. We really do. Yvonne Nabel, thank you for tuning in and commenting. She says that men should have the right to their child. If she wants to abort, he gets full rights. Men should have the right to walk away. If he wants the abortion, she gets full rights. Mm-hmm. Men and women should get equal rights if they are going to bring a child into this life. So thank you again, Yvonne. But I think she has great opinion on that one. Just on my side of things is as much as we fought for equal rights for men and women. I mean, I don't know how many feminists are gonna like this, but hey,
they're not.
They're not. It's equal. I mean, and in my case, I've had 2 potential children aborted in my life that I had no say in. One I didn't even know happened.
Wow.
So until after. So I would have loved the chance to at least rebut that, but I did not. So
Wow. That's like pretty serious, bro. I mean, that's like...
I should be a dad times at least 2.
That's the for real deal right here on the show. That's kind of what we're talking about. Like, you know, there's a part of our society where we have fought for women to have the equal say at the table with men, and I totally get that part. Like, you know, looking back on history, and not just American history, but global history. Woman has by and large been treated as a second-class citizen, and so I get kind of the stance at the table where you're like, you know, no, this is ours, and we own this, and screw y'all, you know, y'all are out of here, right? But if we're being truthful, if we're really driving for truth and equality, and saying we want everybody at the table to be treated equally, the same. It wouldn't be overextending and saying to one side, well, in this situation, you get more rights, you get more privilege, right?
Well, you know, but it isn't our body either. So there is a whole thing about that and the effects to your body. But I really want to hear what some of the guests have to say, to be honest with you, because they're pretty at odds on this one.
That was Chris's polite way of saying, Joe, shut up.
They're gonna get less and less polite as time.
But you know who's been super quiet is the other dude at the table. Chris. I want to hear what Chris has to say too.
But you know, tune in with the body part, and then I'll let you talk.
Go ahead.
No, I'll let you talk, but I just want to put this in there. I believe that if a woman needs to because of her health reason, you know, if it's a matter of life and death situation, she has every right to decide on that part.
Yeah, because you have no idea if it's going to survive or not.
Yeah,
But you won't know that till later in the game either.
Yeah, especially when her health is
Some of
really
the
already
cases.
bad.
In cases.
Yeah, in some cases. Some okay.
Chris, right?
Yeah, so,
but let me hear what you guys say on this one.
Larry.
I kind of want to...
I'm Chris too. Chris, we're all Chris.
Yeah. I kind of wanted to...
Hello, my name's Chris.
We're all Chris. I kind of wanted to flip the script a little bit because I've heard that a lot of the examples, the kind of topics we've been throwing out are in favor more towards the woman's side of saying, oh, the man could be financially unstable, he could be crazy, blah, blah, blah. The woman could be unhealthy, so she would have more of a choice. But as you said in the beginning, what if the male is fully functional, he's financially stable, has all the choice in the world that he wants? And,
Well, that's where I was at.
and exactly, yeah, I was going to bring that up, that you seem like you would be a perfect dad for a child. And
Trust me, if I hired a
didn't have
lawyer,
to say.
I hired a lawyer. I had no case.
And then on the other side of it, because right now the choice is only on the woman, we still have a lot of lives being lost because of a random decision of saying, oh no, that's too much work. You know, I think we can all agree that we're promised that life isn't easy, and along with that, especially on a woman's side, you get the childbirth. And as much as I would want to say like, oh, I wish that we could help with that, there's not really any part that man can do to say, oh yeah, we'll help you through childbirth.
If you want to bring it back biblical, it's because y'all ate the apple. Not that I believe in that, but
So it's Steve Jobs' fault, is what you're saying.
to be a Christian side of my
But you know what?
Damn you, Steve Jobs!
But with that, thank Eve, because without her doing that, none of us would be
Oh
here.
yeah, we would be just weirdos if all
just
normal artists wouldn't be a thing. I get it. Oh yeah. I don't believe in that stuff, but I'm saying if you did believe, then the whole pain and problem with the body. I mean that's
It's just part of
that's part of your heritage, I guess. I mean I wouldn't know any other word to.
It's all part of your apple-eating fault.
But to just kind of put it in perspective, life is a thing that we're gifted to have. From where I stand, God has given us life as a gift. Whether we feel like our life is pointless, whether we feel like our life is perfect, all of us deserve to live our lives the way that we want to. And I say that to have one person decide if a life continues or not is absurd, because there's always two sides to a story. And like I said in the beginning, it takes two to tango, so if one of the sides of the story says, hey, I want this child to live, we're going to raise him right, raise her right, and let them live their life to the fullest, and the other side says, well, I don't want that, then let the person who wants the child to live raise that child correctly. To say that one person can say whether someone lives or not is crazy. If we put it in perspective as now, if I was sitting here at the table and I was the only person to say whether y'all three lived or not, I'm pretty sure everyone else in the room would go, why is he the only person that has a say? Only difference is age now. We're looking at something smaller and not something that looks like a human. We see an ultrasound or even a picture before. I know that my dad had mentioned earlier to the group that I was an in vitro baby, and when they first saw the embryo, it sure didn't look like a person with feet and legs and a head and a torso.
That was during the break, by the way?
During the break, yeah. So if the only difference on the choice is how they look or whether you think it's convenient or not, I feel like it's absurd to say that one person gets that choice or not.
But you're kind of getting a little, because during the break you said she couldn't have children, so that's a little different off the subject. Yeah. We're talking about...
Well, my point being is
I understand your point.
When they saw me as a embryo...
Yes, it's nothing, but to separate that...
For this whenever you're done.
No, you're good. To separate that, she couldn't have it, and a lot of women can't, which I understand. So a lot of people will say, well, just give it up for adoption. But if you actually listen to a lot of these kids that are actually in adoption and have been into that process, they're traumatized, things go wrong, you know, they're treated badly, they're in and out, they get separated from their sisters and brothers, so it's not always the best choice if you actually have that conscious decision to make it, you know.
Call me crazy, but I'd rather be alive and in a pretty bad spot than dead.
True.
I love.
We gotta take a break.
We do have to take
We gotta take a break.
You're never born.
I will tell you as the outro for that break that I'm adopted, and holy crap, I had a hell of a rough life growing up. So I got a lot to say on that, but not before the break. We'll be right back after another word from our sponsors. See you in a minute. Alright. Welcome back to the Art of Dispute. The only show where stuff happens during the break that we don't want to air. That's probably not the only show. There's probably a lot of shows. But we have great discussions during the break. Holy cow. We've got a serious freaking conversation. I mean, like, it's heavy duty. I mean, like, it's real. It's seriously real. And our guests have had all over the different positions on this kind of conversation that you can have. And that's like when you're dealing with abortion. Right now we live in a pro-choice society. Does the dad, or should the dad, get to have his own pro-choice position? Should the dad get to say, well, you chose to keep the baby, but I abort my position. I let it go. I'm not responsible. Or, and I think this is the way more controversial, the woman says, I choose to abort, but the dad says, I choose to keep. And which means I will support financially and take care of all through the pregnancy and then take ownership of the child and raise the child. Should the dad have that right? We've debated this out as a crew here for the last 30 minutes plus. I want to get some closing thoughts from our guest, and then we're going to have a rock star performance from my man here, Chris Martin. Chris, what's your closing thoughts on this? Have you changed your position at all? What's your thoughts?
I still stand with the same position that the man should get the same choice as the woman. And that's pretty much it. You know, like I said, the beginning takes two to tango. So if you want to give one person a choice, the other side's got to get the same choice.
Takes two to tango, it takes two to waltz. I mean, pretty much all of those. So,
Yep.
I agree with that. However, it depends on the woman's health.
women's health. All right. We didn't get to explore that aspect too much.
Yes.
Oh, that was my
We didn't.
monkey wrench. That was definitely my monkey wrench when I was gonna say, I didn't think that that person should have a kid. That girl that I had that got pregnant, she was mentally unstable and on a lot of different antipsychotics. So, I mean, you tell me.
For me, it's more on the physical.
But I mean, I
side.
would have liked to have it. So my position was, have it. I take it from you, because that's where I was gonna go to court for. It's like, go ahead, go through the pregnancy. I want you to, and then we're gonna meet in court.
Man!
Right, but we're talking about physical.
If you're
If they're
physically,
not
Like if her health is
physically-
deteriorating, she's
yes.
gonna die. If it's gonna kill
Yeah.
her.
So it depends
So,
on
well,
that.
and that's a great point, but who says which way or the other when you say mental and physically?
Physical, because the
who makes that
physical has a
decision?
lot.
Who
Well,
makes the decision of
medical record.
Because I mean, she's in and out of mental institutions.
Yeah,
and-
mental, yes, there's a mental and emotional, but that can be worked with. But however, if a
I
woman's
agree.
body is deteriorating, she's very unhealthy, she can't hold a baby.
Okay.
If a
And
medical
you're killing
record
her
shows-
faster.
if a medical record shows the
Yeah.
woman's unhealthy enough to have a baby, then why is she going out and having sex with
But
guys to get it?
my biggest
Because
point.
Well, that
is-
doesn't stop
Yeah, it
anybody
doesn't stop
from
anybody from
having
having
sex.
True, but you know what you're getting into when you do have sex. Am I right?
Yes.
From a young age, I mean, in middle
But
school, I
sometimes
was
you
taught
don't.
sex ed.
Sometimes when you get pregnant, it automatically
Let's hear your final
happens.
thoughts,
Yeah.
there, girl.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Yeah, I believe it's a yes and a no. One is for, and then I go for both end women. If they get incarcerated, they're not mentally stable,
And I agree with that.
and financially stable, but that can go both ways because they can grow into financial, but that doesn't always mean that they are. Like that, if she's dying, so let's say she gets pregnant and she starts having high blood pressure, her heart starts, you know, I don't know how you would put it. Let's say it's too fast or too like that. Yes. You know, so if she's dying internally and she's not going to be able to keep that baby, or she's going to die before that baby comes, then yes, I would say go ahead and, you know, let it go. You know, but at the end of the day, my thing is still, oh, and we didn't get onto it, but they can legally give up their rights. Women and men. If they have a baby, they say, I don't want nothing a part of it, they can legally say, hey, I want to go to court, I want to legalize and say, I have no rights to this baby. Women and men.
That's after birth.
After birth, yes. So let's say they can't come up with a agreement before then. If after birth, you know, woman doesn't want it, man wants it, hey, you know what, give up your rights. And we're done.
You gotta get that far.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just gotta get there.
Wow. I mean, there's no way we can cover all the points in just an hour. And that's, you know, the idea of the show.
That's what our group chat's for.
Right. That's
So
the idea of the show. We want to get you guys over to the group chat. Literally, we posed this topic in the group chat today. You can chime in with your thoughts. Let us know what you think. That's the idea of the show, guys, that we can discuss these serious topics. But we have some artists on our show today that we want to celebrate. We're gonna give Chris here the opportunity to get set. He's gonna perform in a second. Kill it with a song. I already know he's gonna kill it. Also, Elizabeth. Oh, they're like bringing out cake. Beer and cake don't go together. I'm just saying. Otherwise,
I don't know what this guy's talking about. I had donuts and cake this morning.
you have to select your right beer. Is all I'm saying. But Elizabeth, like, tell us what's up with these cakes, man. What's going on with this?
Okay, so what I do is I rent out fake cakes this way.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. She's hiding behind a mountain of cakes.
So this is fake cake, and this is what I rent out. So this is a rendition real one. So let's say you have 400 people, 500 people, but this cake is worth nearly $4,000 for just the artwork that's in it, if it was real. This cake alone, 6-inch, only feeds about 10 people, is worth $600 with the amount of work that I put in. So let's say
$60 a person.
yeah, 60 bucks, pretty much 60 bucks per person. That's the labor, that's the cost of the product.
I'm
that
good
goes
at math
into
like
it.
that.
You know, so you know, not everybody can afford that.
Right.
You know, and doing this for the amount of time that I have, you know, I've always seen people get what they don't want. So I want to change the game and go ahead and say, you know what, you can have exactly what you want and still be able to buy that cake that you want to eat as well.
Right.
You know, so this is what I provide.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
Love can find you.
Oh, you can find me on Facebook. I do have an Instagram, I do have a Twitter, and I do have a Facebook page. It is Faux Cake, so FAUXCAKES.
Very good. Right on. Well, in keeping with the wonderfully cool show that we have,
Thank you, babe.
we always have some rock star talent on the show. We have had Grammy award-winning artists on the show. We've had American Idols on the show. We book some stupidly mad talent on the show. And the next guest is no exception. We're going to have Chris tearing it up with a brand new song, not previously played anywhere. Chris, what's this song? Tell us about it. Where can we find it?
So this is a song called More Than a Song. I wrote it because I was scrolling through social media one day and saw a group of people, and there's a lot of posts of music really bringing people together. And then shortly after that, it just continued back into the normality of hate and disagreement on social media and debate and all that stuff. And the question that popped in my head was, why can't we get along with more than just one song? Why is music the only thing that brings us together? So I wrote this song to kind of capture that, and the basis of it is that question, why can't we just get along with one song? I can't write a song to explain how I feel. I can't find an easy way to help me deal with the people that surround me and the hate that they bring. So I've just gotta ask one thing. You can try to convince me that everything is fine, but I've read you like a book and no, I have read between the lines. You've misinterpreted the words of Martin Luther King. So I've just gotta ask one thing. Oh, I've just gotta ask one thing. Why does hate still exist? If peace is the target, then all of us have missed. Yeah, why are we so confused? We've started all these problems by the actions that we choose. Why can't we get along for more than a song? You may think I sound crazy, that this has already been preached, but the message was for you, but I guess it never really reached. So I'm using my voice and I'm playing all these strings, 'cause I've just gotta ask one thing. Oh, I've just gotta ask one thing. Why does hate still exist? If peace is the target that all of us have missed. Yeah, why are we so confused? We've started all these problems by the actions that we choose. Why can't we get along for more than a song? So take some time to really let these lyrics soak down deep within your mind. And Hear the plea of those with broken hearts needing rescuing. So take some time to really let these lyrics soak down deep within your mind and hear the plea of those with broken hearts needing rescuing. There are people in this world whom you look down upon, and are slowly rising with a voice that screams hate will soon be gone. I can stand beside these people in the songs that they sing, but I've just gotta ask one thing. Oh, I've just gotta ask one thing. Why does hate still exist? If peace is the target that all of us have missed, yeah, why are we so confused? When we've started all these problems by the actions that we choose, why can't we get along for more than a song?
You know, especially with such a contentious subject as we've had today, that's such a great message in the song, right? If we just try to take time to understand each other's point of view, man, the world would be a better place. That is The Art of Dispute. Another great show in the bag. We will be back next week, same time, same channel. All the same sponsors who love us. Please support them. Right? And we will be back next week. See you guys then. We're out.